The following contest is a second-round match in the Kings of Consoles tournament to determine the greatest game in the history of the Nintendo Entertainment System. 2 games enter, only one can advance. Introducing first, the 51st seed, a 1990 puzzle game from Nintendo, Dr. Mario! Its opponent, the 18th seed, a 1985 racing game from Nintendo, Excitebike! Your ringside judges are Ricky Giraldo and Pat Dooley. There's nothing left to say but round 2, fight! Hello and welcome to episode 54 of Kings of Consoles. This is the podcast where we're trying to find the best game for each home video game console by means of giant tournaments. This is our 54th episode, where we are taking a look at the number 14 seed here in the second round of our NES tournament as Excitebike takes on number 51, Dr. Mario, as our Super Marchio month comes to an end. I'm Pat Dooley.
And I'm Ricky Giraldo.
And yeah, so Mario is 3 for 3 so far this month. Last week we saw Super Mario Brothers 3 just body Iron Sword, which is a great game, but it is not Mario 3.
Not at all.
And neither is Batman, which is what it's going to be facing in the next round. Yeah, Mario's getting ready to go on a tear. It is the juggernaut of this tournament, I think. It'll be funny to see that against like a Metal Storm in the finals, where you've got the all-time legendary consensus best game against the dark horse coming out of nowhere. We've got a couple of classics this week. We always start talking about the underdog, but in this case is Dr. Mario, which is a 1990 puzzle game from Nintendo. We have not played it in almost a year. We last saw it back in episode 6 when it knocked out, see what I did there? Ring King. Ring King.
I don't even remember that game.
I only remember it because of the GIF of the trainer servicing the boxer between rounds.
Oh my God, that's right.
That is that game. The wildly underwhelming boxing game that I may have to reshare that tweet from last year just because it is just so wrong. I mean, Dr. Mario, there's not really a lot to say. It's a puzzle game. It's Dr. Mario. If you want to hear more details about the development of the game, you can listen to episode 6 where we go into that in more detail. There's really nothing I think I made it about as far as I did last time. I don't remember specifics, but it's not like, oh yeah, now I got to the part where I'm fighting dragons. It's just, the more you go, there's more viruses you have to drop more pills on, and it just gets harder and harder as you go until you get a game over. It's it's an NES puzzle game. I don't personally have that much more to say about it, honestly.
I don't either. I mean, it's a great. I mean, if you like Tetris, you're gonna like this. If you like Puyo Puyo, you're gonna like this. That type of game. Mm-hmm. If you don't like those type of games, then this isn't gonna change your mind,
right?
Because it does cool ideas. I remember when we did the episode the first time, we were just starting.
It was episode 6. It was.
Yeah, we were just in the pandemic. We were in lockdown at this point.
Yeah, and that's true.
I remember at the time, I just got really into Tetris.
Yeah, April 23rd was when this episode came out.
Oh yeah, so we were definitely in it.
We were, we'd been in it. I mean, we probably recorded it a couple weeks before that, but yeah, we were still in the early days of the lockdown. But yeah, it was, and in fact, I vaguely remember making jokes about how unfortunate the timing was. of us playing it then. Little did we know that a year later, the timing would still be rough for playing a game where you're curing diseases.
I mean, it's not as bad, but it's
not as bad. But I mean, I finally have my appointment for my first shot in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting. It's almost like there's an end in sight. Almost.
There you go. And I still have to wait it out, but eventually.
They just opened it up last week for more people.
I just really got to look more into it. But going back to Mario.
Back to Dr. Mario, yeah.
Like I said, I really was addicted. So I definitely liked it the first time. But then this time, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I was just not into it or just like thinking of something else. But it just didn't click with me this time. I just couldn't. I definitely didn't go as far as I did the first time we played it.
You went really far last time.
I
don't remember
did.
exactly how far it was, but you went really, really far.
I like almost beat the game last time.
Yeah.
So I think I see the faults of the game this time. And there's not a lot, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I mean,
I don't even know how to say it. Yeah.
We're halfway through the second round. We have played almost all 100 games in the bracket. So we have a whole lot more to compare it to now. Because at that point, episode 6, we had only played Lolo 3, Duck Hunt, Kung Fu, Kicks, Shadowgate, Ice Climber, Adventure Island, Ice Hockey, Life Force, Mario Brothers, and then this and Ring King. Like, we hadn't played any of the, like, we were still 2 weeks away from the first Mega Man May starting. So we hadn't really gotten into any of the, like, great games yet. But now we have. I mean, we've played
all. I mean, the greats. I think we're missing 2, which is Zelda and Metroid. But man,
we have played 89 out of the 100 games in the bracket now. So like it's now being compared to, Super Mario Brothers 3 and Metal Storm and River City Ransom and Kirby and Dragon Warrior and Rescue Rangers and all these other great games that we've played in the year since. Yeah, the flaws start to show a little more when you got a little more context. I feel like I did a little better this time because my muscle memory of trying to play it like I was playing Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Like I came into it remembering that that's not how it plays. So I feel like I did a little better in that regard. But I mean, yeah, it's Dr. Mario. It is what it is. It's a really good puzzle game.
It's good. And it's definitely, I love this game more portable than playing it on the NES, if that makes sense. Like, it's a great phone game. I think it works really well if you're just, I don't know, waiting on a bus or or waiting on someone in your car. It's just very like a Tetris. It's very quick, so it works really well on Switch. So if you have a Switch and you have Nintendo, it plays awesome. Like I said, there is a mobile Dr. Mario game, which is great, but as a console game, I wouldn't like it to just sit there and do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a sit and stare at the screen for an hour like we did.
Right, which is funny because Tetris Effect, I could just sit there and play it all day. But then again, Tetris Effect has the music, has the visuals, have the
right. Yeah, that's true. So I mean, unless you have something else, I think we can move on to Excitebike, which is a 1985 launch title for the NES. It's a motocross racing game from Nintendo. The player chooses one of 5 tracks to race, as well as whether they want to attempt the track solo or against computer players. You have to finish the track in a given time limit to advance to the next track, or you can just choose to skip ahead. But if you're playing the circuit version, it is one of the very first games to include a create function, allowing you to build your own tracks using 19 different in-game assets, from speed bumps to ramps to mud to pyramids. There's lots of things you can use. You're using, and it's not like a limited version. It's literally every asset in the game you can use to build your own tracks, which definitely helps with the replayability. It wasn't something I got a chance to really play around with much because I spent the 2 hours trying to beat my best time on each track rather than building new tracks.
Yeah, same. I didn't even try to make one. I should have.
I remember from childhood that it's super fun. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's really good. It's, especially for being a launch title, like this is one of the better early sports games. Yeah, I mean, we played ice hockey way, way, way back when, and that was just a steaming pile of garbage. And this is really good for 1985. Doesn't hold up super well considering all of the other great racing games that have come since. But I enjoyed the 2 hours. I had fun, going back and trying to beat my times and try to squeeze it in under a minute, and like trying to figure out like, okay, well, I need to conserve my speed boost because I know that ramp is coming up and I need to hit it at top speed to be able to clear the mud trap on the other side.
Right. I agree. It reminded me a lot of Micro Machines.
Yes, that's a great comparison.
It's just, oh man, this and like the same thing with car games. Remember when we were like, we're just not into it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Like, I like the game. I thought it was fun. It's just not my type of game. It's just not for me. So I thought it was kind of boring because I mean, it's challenging, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like the challenging part is to get the best time, obviously. But it's not like you have like obstacle courses in it. I mean, you do, but it's not like they're shooting things at you or
right.
Like you do have to time like when you're going to jump or when you're going to speed up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I thought it was pretty simple for what it is. And if I was a kid and I got this game, I think I would be upset, even though there is nothing like the game at the time. But that's my take.
I wonder how much nostalgia plays a role in that, because I remember playing this in like 1985, 86. So I wonder if that maybe is coloring our difference of opinions on this. Is that like I remember how like crazy it was. Like, wait, you can build your own tracks.
And to be fair, like I did not try to build my track, so maybe that adds way more to the replay, like you said, the replayability,
mm-hmm.
and you can make it your own, and then you can probably get your friends to play it as well.
Yep. So it's basically like a proto Super Mario Maker almost.
Yeah. Or a Hot Wheels thing. Like how you used to make the Hot Wheels tracks. Like, but this is a video game. Like what?
Yeah. And you're using the actual things from the game. Like it's the exact same ramp. It's the exact same like where it's a ramp and then at the top there's a kind of like a cantilever stretch of road or nothing, depending on which side you're on. And then there's like the bumpy pyramid thing and the little speed bumps or the thicker speed bumps. It's all those exact same assets, and you're given a stretch of land to build on. It's fun. But yeah, I mean it's a racing game. It's it's Rad Racer, it's Micro Machines, it's another vehicular, how fast can you go?
Yeah, and this for last week's episode, I got confused with Super C in this game. I don't know how, but this is the game where a lot of people still bring up. Like Nintendo fans love Excitebike.
Mm-hmm.
Like they love this game.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing I'm pretty much sure now is because of the create your own level. I think people just went nuts with it that I didn't realize, and yeah. I guess it is a classic in that department. Like,
well, and I mean, like the Excitebikes have been like assist trophies in Smash Brothers, and
right?
Like they, it's still it's still lingering out there. It's not something, I don't think there's been a new Excitebike since like N64, but they, it just pops up once in a while. Shows up as the 14th best game on IGN's list of the 100 best games for the NES. So gets a first round bye in our tournament. So it's beloved in that regard.
And the cover is so iconic. The cover of the game, it's like the motorcycle doing the wheelie. It's like, come on. How do you not remember that?
I love those early NES. The box art where it's like good. It's like black with the text, and then so good, because that's the same kind of style that Kung Fu had and Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Yeah, I mean, I like the the later ones, the whatever hundreds of thousands of dollars Super Mario Brothers 3 cover.
And come on, man, the Iron Sword too.
Mega Man.
Mega Man had a great one.
City Ransom had a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I think
Excitebike.
it's really hard because, like, with Super Mario Brothers 3, there's so much to talk about. Like last week we had so much to talk about, like the legacy of Mario games and all of that. But like this week we've got a puzzle game and we've got a racing game. So there's not a whole lot we can really talk about until we talk about like how far we made it. So I guess that makes for a pretty good segue into who made it further.
Who made it further? Who made it further?
All right, so Dr. Mario, you said you didn't make it as far this time as you did last time. You probably still beat me, but I'm curious to hear.
I mean, I just like I don't even remember, dude. Like, I didn't even keep track.
Oh, jeez.
I did it. I was just like, I did bump. So this is what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spice it up, and I bumped my virus level to like max.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So that took me a while. So I want to say I made it to like the 3rd level when my virus count was all the way up to 20.
I mean, I'm still going to count that as a win for you because I made it starting from the beginning, only made it to level 6. So if you made it to level 3 with the most possible viruses, I made it to the first random cutscene that looks like the end of the game, but it isn't.
Oh, yeah. That's. I think I definitely went past that in the first time we went up.
Yes. Yeah, I did as well, but I think I lost on level 6 last time too. I just, for whatever reason, the puzzle mechanics in this one just don't click for me like Tetris or.
It's just hard. The viruses, sometimes they don't even work like I thought they would. Like sometimes they just don't go away, and I was like, what? So.
Yep. So how about Excitebike? This is going to be a harder one to kind of quantify.
So I did every track, but I'm going to give it to you because I did not. I only did like once or twice, and I did not keep up the score.
Okay.
But I definitely did every track that I went. Like at the end, it goes through the main menu again. So
there's like the version A and the version B.
And version B, yeah.
A where you're by yourself, and then B is where you've got other bikes.
Which I guess I only did version A.
B,
I didn't do Bs.
Okay.
Because I thought it was the same. I was like,
it's the exact same tracks, just with other bikes out there with you.
Okay, that makes.
So I'll take credit for it. So I played all the tracks on both versions, and then just kept going back trying to beat my best times. My best time on the first track was 57.04 seconds, which I think the goal on that one is like 1:30. So I kind of crushed that.
Nice.
The second track, minute 2.83. The third track was 59.66 seconds. 1 and 3 were the only ones I was able to get under a minute. The last track I got down to 107. The rest were all like 111, The one of the tracks, like you have to do it in less than a minute 28 to pass it. I did it in a minute 27.92. Like I was barely past that one. That was the only one I never got first place on.
Damn.
So
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, but again, that's probably, a lot of muscle memory from childhood.
Did you play this game on your Nintendo? Like,
I don't have a physical
the
cart
original?
for it, so I
Okay.
had to emulate it. I mean, I did as a kid, played
Right.
a lot of it.
We did. I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't emulate anything. What do you mean?
I think we've established in the show that we're,
Yeah.
if it were safe for us to go out and buy physical copies of these games, we would, but it's not, so we don't.
Or if they're more available.
Or if they're more available, yeah. Well, yeah, like I mean, we've also talked about like we're not going to spend, $300 on a copy of Metal Storm, although
Which I really want to, though.
I kind of might spend $300 on a copy of Metal Storm.
I might, yeah, exactly. Might not have the box. Might not have the box art, but
yeah,
or the box. But I think I need to own that game.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean that's. So I guess we've gotten to the point now where, and I should point out, the winner of this is going to face Metal Storm in the next round. That's why I brought up Metal Storm. Metal Storm's going to beat either of these. It's one of the best games we've played. So it's just kind of a formality as to which of these is going to lose to Metal Storm in round 3.
I'm very curious. So I think, okay, let's go pick the winner of this game. Let's do this before my choice is Excitebike.
All right. The audience picked Dr. Mario with 69%,
Wow.
Nice, of the online vote. So it is on me to decide which game moves on. And I'm with you. I would rather spend another hour, especially like now I really want to spend a decent chunk of the next playthrough building stages.
I was going to say the same thing. Yep.
I'm excited. I didn't stream this go around with Excitebike just because it was, a pretty repetitive game, but I will probably stream me building tracks when the time comes in round 3, just because that seems like fun to, maybe crowdsource some ideas for like, have that ramp go like right into a mud pit or whatever. So yeah, Excitebike moves on.
But what I was going to say, which I didn't know Dr. Mario won, but I was going to say like a lot of people love Excitebike. So I'm wondering what the viewers vote was going to be against the next game.
Yep.
I just forgot what it was called.
Metal Storm.
But thank you. Like, I know Super C would get, I mean, not Super C. Why do I keep bringing up Super C? Excitebike. I know that would get the popularity vote for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's more of a known quantity. I'm looking at that chunk of the bracket right now, and that is a brutal draw because
I need people to play Metal Storm. Like we need to bring it back for a remake. Like
we need to be like the evangelists for Metal Storm. Get the word out. Like Ryan O, I know you got yourself a little bit of a following with your own podcast and just being an entertaining guy on Twitter. Spread the word on Metal Storm. Medic Sloan, I know you're with us every week. You're out there listening. Get on it. Grab a copy of Metal Storm and then talk it up to all your friends. It's great. I'm excited to play it.
Do it, guys. Do it.
We gotta spread the word. But I'm also looking at that section of the bracket, and the winner, Excitebike against Metal Storm. The other half of it is Super Mario Brothers against either the first Mega Man or Star Tropics. So like that's a decent quintet of games there, but we'll see. But we do have, speaking of Rhino, he did send some listener feedback, which continuing on with the theme of Mario questions for Super Marchio. Besides Koopa / Bowser, Who is your favorite Mario villain or enemy?
Mine's Wario.
I think
Wario.
Wario's mine as well.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like a lot of the ones I like are annoying in the game, but like I like the character design of Lackey 2, but he's such a pain, flying around and throwing spinies at you.
I also love Boo's.
But, Boo is great.
I hate them in the game. Like, but I think their design is so cool because they're freaky.
Mm-hmm. And the whole the mechanic of them only moving when you're not looking.
When you don't. Yeah, it's so terrifying.
Like the angels from Doctor Who. I like the design of the thwomps. I think those are really interesting. The big blocky things that drop down. But again, they're awful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Wario as well. Plus, he's also kind of like my go-to if I'm playing a Mario Party or something. And WarioWare is a franchise that needs to come back. Those games are great.
I
so
agree.
Good.
And I'm very curious of how Switch version of that is going to work.
Ooh, yeah.
I 100%. Man, talking about Nintendo, let's talk Nintendo. Why is it so hard to bring old franchises back to Nintendo? Like, how is it? What's 4 years now that the Switch has been out?
Yeah,
maybe
about
3.
That.
How do we not have a Star Fox game? How do we not have a Metroid game?
Jeez.
How do we?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a Donkey Kong game. Technically, it's still from the Wii U. Like, if you think about it, Switch is just a Wii U remake. Like, all right, we messed up with Wii U, so we're going to release these games again.
Yeah.
On a Switch, and they're going to sell thousands and thousands and thousands of copies that just Nintendo's like, shut up, Ricky. We're still making a lot of money.
Right.
We don't need these stuff. But like, they have so many franchises that they're just not doing anything with. F-Zero. Where's F-Zero?
Punch Out. There hasn't been any Punch Out since the Wii.
I mean, hell, I would even take a remake Ice Climbers, for crying out loud. Like, give me.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Hey, man, you never know.
I'm kidding.
But Excitebike, like, how cool would it be if we got a remake? Excitebike for the Switch.
Kid Icarus,
which the last Kid Icarus game for the 3DS was amazing. It was so good. It was one of those games that moved the console. Well, it didn't really move the console, but there wasn't a lot of 3D games when the DS came out. But that was one of them, and that was like the main one with Street Fighter 4. Well, I don't know how Nintendo sleeps on these things. Once again, the console's not struggling, so they don't need to make them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you talk about how they're sleeping. It reminds me of on The Simpsons, the episode where they do the film festival, and John Lovitz's character from The Critic guest stars, and he's interviewing Rainier Wolfcastle about the latest McBain movie. He says, "How do you sleep at night?" He says, "On top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies." Like that's how Nintendo is sleeping at night. They're doing okay.
Yeah, it just bugs me, man. Like,
yeah, it would be great.
I'm not
again. I don't think Switch Metal Storm. I want to play Metal Storm. I want a next gen Metal Storm.
I really do. It's such a great idea. Like, no other game I've seen does this.
Nope.
Where you could just. I mean, I guess there's Gravity Falls, but that's not the same.
It's not the same. No. Nope. It's not. Did we ever figure out why the publisher go under, and that's why there hasn't been
the publisher one? It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Somebody's got to have the rights to it. Like, those don't just go away.
But well, I was gonna say, like, I'm not a diehard Nintendo fanboy, but I feel really bad for them because their franchises are just never come out.
Yeah.
Like people are waiting for Metroid 4 and Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do we want another Zelda? I get it. Zelda's one of the most beloved franchises, and this is going to be super controversial, but for me, sometimes Zelda could be a little overhyped.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because
I think
Breath of the Wild is a great game. I understand what it did to gaming. Totally changed the game because now every game wants to be Breath of the Wild.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
But hey, man, don't Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn is great, but it owes a lot to Breath of the Wild.
No, it doesn't because of that. The game came out the same week, and no one talked to Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn after they beat Breath of the Wild because the Switch came out the same week Horizon Zero Dawn came out.
Gotcha. For some reason, I had it in my head that it was the following year.
No,
it was the same time. All right, well, never mind then. I retract my cough.
So yeah. So I was gonna say, like, I think Breath of the Wild is not. It's overrated in the part where, yes, the open world is great. There's a lot of things you could do, but like, I don't know. I find it just boring. I just found the game to be super boring. I found it super boring.
Bugs me about it is
because it doesn't.
It feels like I'm nitpicking, but it is actually kind of a big deal for me as a player anyway. Like I've been playing, and I've talked about it on the show several times, a lot of Witcher 3 lately. And Witcher 3, the crafting in that game is so good. Like you find in a treasure trove or you buy from a shopkeeper, like a recipe for, a new kind of potion or whatever. And then you go and you get the supplies for that and you craft it. Zelda has the same kind of crafting mechanic in terms of, you gather food, you put it in a pot and you cook something, but you don't keep the recipes. Like you don't have a book of so you just have to keep in your head or like physically write down a list of, okay, well, I know if I put an apple and, asparagus and oil in the pot, I'm going to get, XYZ. And it's such a weird, like for as much of a premium as the game puts on what you can do with food, to not have an internal system to keep track of your recipes is just insane to me.
Yeah. Honestly. So I hope Breath of the Wild 2 fixes all these things, like just to make our life easier.
Yes.
Because it needs it. Because if it has the same mechanics as the first one, I'm not going to play it. Like, I mean, I'm going to play it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just me. I was just never, there's only one Zelda game I ever got to, and I don't think any other game has hold up to it, and that's Ocarina of Time. That game just blew me away that I don't think any other Zelda game has gone close in my eyes.
Yeah, for me, Ocarina of Time is easily my number one. I also liked Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo one, and Wind Waker for GameCube. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting when we get to the NES games, which we will in a couple of weeks, just to see, if I feel differently about those now than I did when I was a kid, when I thought they were kind of boring. But I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I would agree with that. Like Breath of the Wild is, like you said, objectively, it's a great game. It's incredible what it can do. But
it's going to be in the, if the video games had history books, it's going to be up there as one of the greatest games of all time. But I don't know. I think a little too overrated for me.
Yeah,
maybe that's not the word I even want to say. It's just, I don't know. I think my expectations for it was really high because everybody was like, dude, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's the greatest game. And then when I played it, I thought it was good, but I wasn't blown away.
Yeah.
And that's what people are probably going to say about Metal Storm when they play it.
Well, those people would be wrong because it is incredible. We will see next week if either of these games is incredible. We've played one of them already and it wasn't. So maybe the other one will be. We're putting our little Nintendo All-Stars run on a brief hold, just a 1 week pause, because as it happens next Thursday, April 1st, is supposed to be, we'll see if, COVID has other plans, but opening day for Major League Baseball is scheduled for next Thursday, April 1st. So we are pausing the Nintendo All-Stars to play Baseball Stars, which is the number 28 seed in the tournament, the lowest seed to get a first round bye, as it takes on number 37 Jackal. So that'll be interesting.
Ooh.
And then we'll get back into the All-Stars the following week, which I think is when we start playing the Zelda games, if I remember right. I've got the schedule here.
I think you're right.
No, Metroid, then Zelda, and then it'll be time for Mega Man May again. And then we'll only have 5 weeks left in round 2.
Wow.
Just crazy.
Time is flying.
Time really is flying, but it's also incredibly slow. Like the last year has been weird, man. But you can keep track of our 54 weeks worth of bracket and the 45 still to come by going to challonge.com/Kings of Consoles. We update that every week with the previous week's results. So you can currently see Super Mario Brothers 3 in the second round. Next week, you will see Excitebike join it. You can throw a little money our way if you like by going to ko-fi.com/Kings of Consoles. Just buy us a cup of coffee or, a mint inbox copy of Metal Storm. You can watch a stream, twitch.tv/Kings of Consoles. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kings of Consoles. Email us, kingsofconsolespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @Kings of Consoles. You can follow me @LoopyDate.
Yeah, follow me at RickyGN7.
And next week, Baseball Stars and Jackal. Go Tigers. I know it's going to be another really, really, really bad year.
Go Marlins. Yeah.
Let's try and keep those losses to double digits this year. We shall see. It's a long 162 games and anything can happen. At least the Pistons have won a couple of games in a row as of this recording. So they're not the worst team in the NBA anymore.
You guys got to get that number 1 draft pick now.
Yeah. Now we're failing at tanking. So
which sucks because I think because of your trades you might lose it. I don't know, but
we shall see.
There's some rule. Maybe I'm thinking of you guys or the Houston Rockets, something like that. Where one team, I think it's the Houston Rockets, like they can't if they do top 5, like they
it's one of like the top 5 protected
to Oklahoma City or Miami.
I can't remember which. Those provisions in trades always confuse me. That's one of my least favorite things about the GM mode in 2K. It's like we'll trade you for a top 5 protected picks. I in theory I know what that means, but I don't actually know what that means. But anyway, Baseball Stars next week against Jackal, which is the game where you're driving around in a Jeep shooting things and rescuing POWs. So
that'll be great.
Yeah, super exciting. Hopefully Baseball Stars is really good. I've never played it before. I played a lot of NES baseball games. I loved Roger Clemens MVP baseball. Played a lot of RBI baseball, but I've never played Baseball Stars. So it'll be interesting to see if it lives up to the hype and maybe is a new Metal Storm for us. Like, oh, hey, you got to play this. Probably not, because Metal Storm is Metal Storm. But until next week, thanks so much for listening and play old games.
Old games, everyone.
Kings of Consoles is recorded in Nashville and Orlando and is produced and edited by me, Pendley. Thanks to Captain Portal for our theme song, intro for a non-existent video game, which can be found at freemusicarchive.org. And the music and sound effects from this week's games can be found with a quick Google search. The opinions expressed in this and every episode are our own, and we are in no way sponsored by or affiliated with Nintendo. We're just big fans.